What?
You told me about the Tao of Pooh.
The
Winnie the
Tao
Pooh.
of Pooh. Yes,
Tao.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Tao. Tao.
Tao. I thought it was
I know
Tao.
it's T-A-L, but it's Tao.
Pronounced Tao.
Did
Okay.
you read it?
I did. Yeah. 8 months ago. I think that was a
What
year
did
ago.
you
That was a
think?
while ago. I don't remember what I thought. It was a long time ago.
All right, so oh, you probably want to see this guy too. I don't know. Can I flip I
Guinness.
can flip the camera. Of course you know who it is. Let
I
me see.
know.
There
There he
he
is.
is. He's sunbathing.
I see that. Very jealous.
Doesn't it look nice?
Yeah. Just looked out the window. It looks nice out there.
I'm not. Can you show me out the window?
Yeah. Over there. So very pretty.
Oh, that does look nice.
Team on
That
Adrian
does
over
look
there
nice.
working. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So I went to go find sunglasses so I could sit out here with you. Here's what I came up with. First off, I needed my regular glasses because I am doing this on my phone and it's too small for me to see what I'm doing. But here's what I have. What do you think?
Those are popping. Yep. Those are good.
Are they good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and then, I have my iced tea. I'm sorry, I'm not from the South, so it's not sweet tea. It's just regular iced tea.
I don't drink sweet tea. I'm a transplant and I can't do the sweet tea either. So I've got
I
my.
thought you were a transplant from bump ass. What are you
Well,
drinking?
I got there when I'm still drinking coffee. It's early.
You're just throwing like branding out there. Oh, I totally made you a promise. Oh gosh. Okay, hold on. We're still recording, but
Oh, you're
I
fine.
totally made Casey a promise, and I gotta. So here's Bunny's mad dash through her house, and we'll avoid screaming children. All right, now we're good.
There we go. Got your lid now.
I made you. I can't do it with my hat on. And Guinness is like, where did Mom go? All right, I'll get this fixed in a second.
You're
Guinea,
gonna have to
you wanna go
unsnap
inside?
it or something.
Guinea, go. Go ahead, you can go inside. Guinness is like, it's too hot outside. So for those of you watching who have no idea what just happened and why I'm out of breath, well, first off, I'm out of breath because, just quarantine keto diet is not working out. Secondly, is this a good look with the glasses and this?
It is a good look. Yep. You got to pull it down a little. You got your West Coast. Well, is the West Coast lid popped up or is it flat across the brow?
West Coast is flat across the brow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I like how you got it still very straight. Mine's all curled.
Yeah, so no, West Coast is straight. Actually, Rob Long from River City Roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is totally the Rob look. So actually I'm gonna screenshot this because I'm gonna send that to him later. Okay, so back to why I had to run through the house is because I promised you, because you gave me a sweatshirt and this hat. I promised you if you did this difference makers discussion with me that I would make sure I wore my swag.
I'm not even wearing mine. I don't know where mine is right now. I think it's in the truck, but I am wearing the t-shirt.
Well, you're drinking. That's like your Superman t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. I know it's inside here.
Yeah, you're drinking out of swag that I don't have access to yet, so I don't feel the Casey love yet.
This is limited edition. My marketing director got this for me for Christmas, so Adrian and I each have one. So this is 2 of 2.
Oh, okay.
And
so I forget.
It's a good one when the Yeti top fits in it.
Okay.
Not Yeti, but the Yeti fits it. So.
Well, I had one other thing that I am gonna see what you think about for my post-quarantine, like what I'm gonna wear.
That's
What
perfect.
do you think? Should I
That's
just like
perfect.
think people will keep their distance from me?
I don't know. You're gonna have to like put it 360 around Guinness though, because they're still gonna come up to him.
Oh no, you know that that war is never going to be won. Like there's
That's what I'm
people
saying.
are always going to, yeah. So are the kids good?
They are. They're a little stir crazy, but we the advantages of living in a neighborhood, they're able to, you know, go get muddy and play with their friends. So
Yeah. So let me ask you, not necessarily a business question, but since everybody's home, is everybody wanting stuff remodeled now?
it's a balance. So we've had a few jobs put on pause because of what's going on, and they're kind of actually slowly starting to come back to us. And then, as you can imagine, there's quite a few people who are sitting like this, staring at their kitchen cabinets and all this other stuff, and now they're home much more than they normally are. So the things that normally they
Yeah.
could kind of go to work and ignore, it's driving them crazy. So it's a
Yeah.
balance.
I just need you to Zoom me more often because people, I admit it's my fault for doing this on my phone, but while I'm Zooming with you, people keep calling me and texting me. So you're making me rather popular.
Well, that's
So
good.
I need to do this more often.
Good problem to have. Yeah.
So it is, it is a good problem to have. So, all right. What's next to discuss with Casey? Casey, what do you miss about us co-working together the most?
Um, Random, short, deep platitudes. You always like kind of drop these short little bombs that are like, I'm gonna be thinking about this later. Yeah. Um, yeah. We
I
just
appreciate that.
yeah. This is our first week actually in the new space, and so we've been kind of renovating it while and as you can see, haven't finished. But kind of working through working at Gather and working here, it's been missed kind of that energy of other people, but it is nice to have our own space and kind of settle here. So it's a balance, but
Well, text me the address and I will I'll run by
yeah,
and
you
throw my
should.
money energy around.
There you go.
So it
Yeah.
leave me a wall and I'll sign it for you so that you'll have, or I'll put a Tao of Pooh quote up on the wall for you.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So it'll just have some good zhuzh. You know what I was thinking about? I can't tell you that this is what I miss the most. I mean, I miss you and the fact that you were two halls down for a lot of a couple things. Business, like sage wisdom of like, hey, this is just going on. Like, am I crazy or not?
Hmm.
To which you very much respected the fact that I was not. So I appreciate that. Second was that most of my business books that I lent out from my office that I no longer had in my office, you had that I could go steal from you.
Right.
So I appreciated that. I brought that up, and now I realize I probably shouldn't have brought it up because I probably owe you a couple $100 worth of books.
No, it's all
Um,
good. We did have a very common a common library though. So no.
yeah, like what's your favorite business book right now?
Right now, I am going back through Jocko Willink's um, Extreme Ownership. That's
Okay,
so um,
the Seal one.
yeah. So that's what I'm going back through right now. I've gone through it before, but just kind of going through everything that's happening right now. It's easy to kind of sit back and lay blame, and that's something that I remember so powerfully from that book was that whatever's happening, you have to take ownership of it and just move forward. So that book, and then I am not reading this again, but it's something that well, uh, um, Seth Godin, I'm remembering a lot of his books. I'm not reading any of them right now, but just a lot of information from I've read a ton of his books. But then John
Yeah,
Maxwell's Failing Forward, that's a book that
yeah.
kind of keeping in mind right now, and just allowing, giving, just having permission to just move forward and learn from whatever's going on and take the next step.
Yeah, I like
What do you?
that his books are always written with like a faith forward, like an openly faith forward approach.
Right.
Which,
And yeah.
everything from leading a business to owning a business to having a business coach, like when your faith is a part of all of that, it's nice to have like a faith forward business resource.
Yeah, and it's very, and I think that's powerful too, because I think a lot of the books quite a few of the books I've read where the answer's inside, and I think that for me has been kind of a dead end to say, oh, the answer's inside, but it's whether it's inside me, that can't be the solution. It's what I loved about Gather, but it's what I love about having a team where I work with is, I may not have the solution, but my team does, or it comes from outside.
Yeah.
My faith has definitely played a huge part in that, but it's also, again, it's just helped kind of propel them as we move forward. So.
Well, I know I still owe you what book I am reading, but it's not as powerful as this is like a shameless plug, but the book that I just finished on the how to stay sane during insane times, if you haven't looked at it, it talks about the 4 parts of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's mind, body, emotion, and spirit. And so that fulfillment that you were talking about with your faith and in that spiritual side, so many people, I've coached so many people who feel like they've got the mind down, they've got the body solid, they're going to the gym, but like they're really missing out on that self-awareness emotionally, and they're really missing out on that spiritual connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's super powerful, and finding that balance during right now, but just in life period, and making sure you're fulfilled in all 4 areas can always be a super big challenge.
Right. Well, I think that again.
And guess what book I'm emailing you right after we get off this?
I don't know.
That book.
Okay. Tell me what's it called? I was going to write it down.
How to Stay Sane During Insane Times. It's a free ebook. So it's just like 30 pages, but it's good. I wrote it for teams.
Yeah. Awesome.
I wrote it for business leaders to be able to give to their teams. But to answer your question, as far as the book that I'm reading right now is Love is Just Damn Good Business.
I've not heard of that one. Who's that?
You read that?
Uh-uh.
Who is that? Casey, you have your computer up. Go ahead and Google it and tell all the listeners who it is.
Okay.
Since I'm sitting in my backyard drinking my unsweet tea. Are you ready? We're about to have some more special guests. I'm pretty sure. Nope.
Steve Farber.
There you go. I'm not going to tell everybody that my husband's first name is Steve, so the fact that I couldn't come up with that is pretty bad.
That's good. You shouldn't tell anybody that.
I will not tell a soul, and I appreciate you keeping that confidential.
I will. I'm going to keep it under your hat.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
All right. So let's leave the listeners with your top recommendations in each category of the 4 parts of the self-care. And we also have these guest speakers here. So I'm going to mute myself while you tell listeners 4 parts of your favorite things for the 4 parts of self-care, which is mind, body, emotion, and spirit.
Well, emotion. Sorry, writing it down to make sure I hit all 4 so that my squirrel brain doesn't go away without catching one. I would say, you asked me earlier about what else I'm reading. There's, I should have mentioned this too. Caroline, do you know Caroline Leaf? She's
No.
Have you heard of her? And of course, I'm blanking on any of her books right now. Switch on Your
Thank you.
Brain. Anyway,
Did you
she's
say
got a,
hi, Casey?
nope.
Did you hear
She
that?
said nope.
Solid nope.
Yep.
Nope.
That's good. That's what I expected, though. You know.
Confidence and boundaries. I'm telling you, the two kids are nothing alike, though.
No, that's the way
Crazy.
that's the way it's supposed to, because you've learned something, you figure something out, and then switch. No. Yeah, I have four, and they're not the same at all.
I have flat out told the oldest one, like, you did not come with a manual. So if you have any suggestions, let's just take a collaborative approach. Like, all right. So
Yeah.
Caroline Leaf.
Yep. So she's a psychologist, and she has a bunch of books, but Switch on Your Brain is kind of her landmark book right now. And I've been learning a lot about that, and learning the difference between the brain and the mind, and understanding that the brain does what the mind tells it to do, and how much our brains, our emotions, our spirit even are affected by the choices that we make in our minds. And just learning the difference there. And so she's got an app called Switch that takes you through a 21-day process every morning where you work through. And it takes me about 40 days to do a 21-day switch process, but I'm halfway through my second one, and just learning to process things and go deep dive into things that I'm a doer, I'm a producer, I'm very task oriented. So just kind of, you ask this question, realistically, this is probably the first year I have taken these into consideration.
Yeah.
And especially with everything that's going on, I've been working throughout this and really haven't had very much downtime. In fact, everything that's going on has just made my life and work much harder than normal. So I really haven't had much time to process. So coming back to your question, the mind is really realizing how important the mind is. And that's kind of your subconscious, with 90% of your processing is happening. And it's influencing decisions. It's what's influencing, things in my body, things in my emotions, and even how I interpret things in my spirit. So the mind is something I've been working on a lot, I would say, for the last 1.5 to 2 years. There's a friend of mine, his name is Rifle Shkuta, and he is Beyond Reason. You can find him on Facebook, but he teaches a lot about the mind. He's local to Richmond. I've worked with him for about 2 years, just helping me kind of understand that difference of the mind and how important that is, and change my course of being more reactionary to proactive. And so it's, I've had a lot of thought in this area. The body is something that I have often, when work or other things I'm going to take second. I have, in the last 6 months, had 2 breaks from doing something stupid, and it's reminded me how important it is to focus on my body. And I broke my arm cleaning out the gutters. I got bored one Saturday and decided to throw up the ladder and clean out gutters. We have a rule in our company: 2 people. If you're on a ladder, never get on a ladder by yourself. But I'm allowed to break my own rules in my own house, and broke my arm. And so I neglected taking. And then 6 weeks ago, right when the COVID stuff started happening, I got bored one Saturday, got on my longboard and tried to do something I haven't done for 10 years, bomb a big hill, and I couldn't stop at the end and crashed and broke my shoulder. So, the body is something that it just can happen so quickly if you don't guard it. And so just, it's not just about working out and eating healthy, but it's also protecting for me. And that's what I've been thinking about. Emotion, just coming back to the mind, is just realizing that the emotions are something that your body has been created to tell you something. There's been a lot of fear, and I've been one to forever tell myself I'm not afraid, and I have very low fears. But with everything that's going on and realizing that there is unknown, it's just giving myself permission to feel that and to acknowledge
Yeah.
those fears and to process them, because left unprocessed, I go bombing hills on my longboard and break my shoulder. So, just allowing yourself to have emotions and to process them. And then the spirit is to remember that is not an other. That is not a superseding. That is something that is inside. That is of my very core. That is permanent. More permanent than anything else, and it ties me to others. That spiritual connection that you and I have talked about, and what draws individuals together, that is beyond even the subconscious understanding, common interests or anything like that brings us together, and is that lasting, and acknowledging that we're part of something bigger, but that there's also there's a God who's leading us and breathing life into us and giving us the direction and the purpose and the opportunity to interact with one another through our gifts. So
Yeah, I often say there's thank God there's somebody far smarter than me in control.
absolutely. And that's permission, right?
So it's surrender, it's faith.
That's what I mean. It gives permission to let go of,
Yeah,
I think
like
you and
it's
I
so
both,
many things.
right. Well, and you and I probably have a tendency and a desire to control, right? And hold on. And as leaders, we want to be able to predict the future and tell people where to go and how to follow, and having to say, no, we have to let go of that control.
Yeah. I think in the past couple of years, through a lot of coaching, a lot of mentorship, a lot of prayer, a lot of self-work, I've been able to take some of that control, because even in when I was in social services, I'm a fixer. So give me a problem and I want to fix it. And it drove me nuts as a therapist, which I realized the irony there, but it was very difficult for me that I couldn't fix. I couldn't fix every child. I couldn't fix every person. So when this all hit, I was in Houston, and it was like flying through a time warp, because we have clients that are in California, we have clients in Italy. And so this is all hitting, and it's kind of this belief that like it's not going to get to us. But of course it did. And so I was in Houston, contract got canceled, come home, and it was just like, okay, so now what? And that's when I wrote the book, was because I felt like it was my way. It was my way of doing something, maybe
Sure.
I wasn't fixing it, but it gave me something to do. It gave me something to, give to others, and it made me feel like I was doing something. So for my 4, I think for my emotions, labeling them is something simple that I can do that really helps me with self-care, is being able to label them. My mind is meditation and making it stronger, but also allowing it permission to just be and not use my mind. Because I'm one of those people that will just constantly be thinking about everything. I'll figure out the return on investment for a roller coaster at SeaWorld. It's just, I have a gifted entrepreneurial brain, but sometimes it's also a curse. And I love it though. For my body, the 7-minute workout is something comprehensible that I can do within my, heart range. So I like that. And for my spirit, and this is something that I go to for all 4 actually. For my spirit, it is writing. And that I have this tremendous bond and belief in equine relationships, but I've never felt closer to God than when I was surfing or on the back of a horse, because nothing about riding a horse makes sense. They're prey animals, and So them giving us trust for us to climb on their backs and support us and carry us. And, you know, just that trust in that relationship. I think about that in such a spiritual manner. And of course, horseback riding it takes you being present and grounded. And so for me, my spirit's my roots. And so to actually be present in that moment, it's very spiritual for me. So, well, I appreciate you making time for us to have this difference makers discussion.
Absolutely.
I'll let you know when it goes live, and I appreciate you being here, and I just appreciate the space that you created for us to catch up. I missed you. I want you to know that,
No, I
and I
appreciate that.
will not let it go.
No, I miss you too. And again, I appreciate you. You said this earlier on, but you know, it was interesting being able to you and I never programmed or planned any of our conversations, but it was usually by the copier. We just kind of, you know,
Yeah.
10 minutes would go by and just kind of process and go through. So
Yeah, and not by our design, but because we know if it was by my design, you would have been at the ranch already. We wouldn't have been able to do that, Casey.
yeah, I know it.
So, well, all right. So after this, I'm going to send you the website so that you can get the book. And will you send me the links to the Switch app
Yeah,
and that author, please?
you got it.
And
Will
that
do.
way I can also post those in the comments on the video.
Absolutely, will do.
All right. Thank you for making the world a better place and making a difference, sir. I will talk to you soon.
All right, Bunny. Good chatting to you.
Bye.
Bye.